If you've ever been through a cybersecurity audit, you know the pain. It's weeks of grinding, chasing down evidence, just drowning in spreadsheets. But what if that whole painful model is being completely reinvented? Today, we're going to look at how new, really intelligent platforms are turning compliance from this dreaded chore into something proactive, automated, and actually secure.
So, here's the plan. We'll start by reminding ourselves of the old compliance grind. Then, we'll dive into the 5 big innovations that are changing everything. We're talking self-proving evidence, how to verify data you can't even touch, focusing on real attacks, having AI as your co-pilot, and finally, baking accountability right into the system's DNA.
All right, let's just jump right in by setting the scene with a problem that I'm sure is way too familiar for many of you: the old way of doing compliance. Yeah, this is that classic checklist approach. It's totally reactive, it's painfully manual, and it is a massive, massive drain on your team. People spend all their time hunting for documents and plugging things into spreadsheets instead of, actually improving security. It's a system that basically runs on uncertainty right up until the auditor walks in the door. Okay, so here is the first really game-changing idea. What if your evidence, every single policy, every log file, every screenshot, could carry its own tamper-proof history? What if it could literally prove its own innocence? Well, it's done through this amazing concept called an integrity ledger, and it works in 4 really simple but incredibly powerful steps. First, the second a file gets uploaded, it's giving a unique digital fingerprint. It's a SHA-256 hash. Just think of it like a one-of-a-kind DNA code for that file. Second, that hash and a timestamp get locked into a permanent record. Third, every new record is digitally chained to the one before it, creating this unbreakable chain of custody. And fourth, the system is always automatically rechecking every file against its original hash, just to prove that nothing has been messed with. And boom, this is the result. You get a single dashboard that shows thousands of files all sitting at 100% integrity. This isn't just about saying you have the evidence, it's about having cold, hard, cryptographic proof that your evidence is authentic and has not been altered since the moment you collected it. So you see what happens, right? This technology just completely changes the entire conversation you have with an auditor. It answers their toughest questions before they can even ask them. The impact is huge. We're talking faster audits, way lower prep costs, and a level of trust with regulators that you just couldn't get before. Okay, let's get to our next revelation. Now, this one sounds a little weird, a little counterintuitive, but it is absolutely critical for security. How on earth can a platform verify your most sensitive data without ever actually touching it? The secret is a secure air-gap architecture. It creates the super strict separation of duties. So the compliance platform itself, that's on the left, it only ever sees the metadata, stuff like file hashes, timestamps, verification results. But the actual sensitive data, things like controlled unclassified information or CUI, that stuff stays locked away exclusively in a hardened, government-certified environment, over there on the right. And this is a really big deal. It massively reduces risk because your regulated sensitive data never leaves its secure bubble. It basically makes the platform a neutral referee, a verification layer, not just another database that you have to worry about securing and auditing. For decades, compliance has just been about ticking off a list of controls in order. But modern systems are so much smarter than that. They're actually prioritizing the work based on what attackers are really doing out there in the wild. And it all starts by plugging directly into powerful frameworks like MITRE ATT&CK. The system literally downloads a huge database of real-world adversary tactics and techniques. It's like getting a copy of the actual hacker playbook. And then the platform connects the dots. It maps a specific attack, like T1110 brute force, directly to the security control that's designed to stop it. This lets teams stop just working down a checklist and instead start prioritizing the fixes that actually defend against real-world threats. It's a total game changer. Let's talk about AI. Because for a long time in this space, AI was basically just a glorified search engine. But now, it has completely evolved. It's an active co-pilot that helps you solve problems, not just point them out. You can see that whole evolution right here. On the left, a user finds a gap in their network protection. With a single click of that Generate Plan button, the AI produces what you're seeing on the right, a full step-by-step implementation guide covering everything from planning and design to the actual technical deployment. But it goes even deeper. The AI also plays the role of an analyst. Here, it's actually read an access control policy, given it a quality score, and then pointed out specific weaknesses. Like, hey, you cover authentication, but you're totally missing the details on session management. And then it tells you how to fix it. This is AI speeding up the entire fix-it cycle. And for our final revelation, we're going to tackle one of the oldest problems in any project, right? The classic question, so who actually owns this? Well, modern platforms are solving this by literally programming accountability directly into the workflow.
It all starts with what's called a shared responsibility matrix, or SRM. Before anyone does anything, this matrix assigns clear, unambiguous ownership for every single control. Is this the customer's job, or is it handled by a provider? There's no gray area. And to make it absolutely crystal clear, this system uses a RACI matrix. This programmatically defines who is responsible for getting the work done, who is ultimately accountable for the outcome, who needs to be consulted along the way, and who just needs to be kept informed. This makes sure that nothing ever falls through the cracks. So, when you put all of these pieces together, what does it all add up to? Well, it's a fundamental shift away from that old static way of doing things and into a whole new era of audit readiness. We've moved from that painful grind to a dynamic system. Your evidence validates itself. Your data is secure by design. Your work is prioritized by actual threats. AI helps you find and fix problems, and accountability is built in from the start. This isn't just about making audits easier. It's about building a truly resilient, provable security posture that saves time, money, and gives you real peace of mind. And that leaves us with one last pretty fascinating question to chew on. As these platforms take over more and more of the heavy lifting, what happens to the human expert? Their role is going to evolve, away from chasing paperwork and towards shaping high-level security strategy. And honestly, that sounds like a future worth building.